In the 70s, there was a commonly cited study on drug addiction that was done with rats. They'd put a solitary rat in a cage and give it food, water, and a lever that dispensed heroin. And 10 out of 10 times, the rat would keep doing heroin till it overdosed and died. Everyone concluded that it was the drugs themselves that were causing the behavior. And those studies were the backbone to how everybody thought about drug addiction in the 70s and honestly even up until the nowies. But in 1978, Canadian psychologist Bruce K. Alexander had a different hypothesis about it. He thought it might be the bleak, isolated, and cramped conditions of the cages that were responsible for the addiction and overdoses. So they created Rat Park, which was a ratopia about 200 times the size of a standard laboratory cage. They had food, balls, and wheels for play, and there were a bunch of other rats in there for them to scurry around, socialize, and have sex with. They also had sweetened morphine water and plain water, and surprisingly, the rats preferred the plain water. They did drink the laced water from time to time, but none of them OD'd. So the backbone of our punitive, carceral, and racist drug policy is based on inherently flawed rat studies. 28% of soldiers in the Vietnam War did heroin or cocaine, and many of them were actually addicted. But when they got home, about 90% gave up their addictions without treatment. So what I think we need to do is continue to rethink our drug policy and fight addiction at its root, which is social fragmentation, isolation, and largely systemic racist bullshit. I don't believe that there's any one Hail Mary all-encompassing treatment that will work for everybody. I think treatment needs to be personalized, and people really need empathy. We need compassionate, individualized treatment, and we need to examine the systemic things that lead to addiction in the first place.